Welcome to English, Please, the podcast where we explore interesting topics in under 10 minutes in clear, intermediate English. I'm your host, Christopher. I live in New York City, and I've always been passionate about languages and how we learn them. Whether you're listening on your way to work or while cooking dinner at home, this show is designed to help you with your English listening and comprehension skills. Thanks so much for being here. Before we get started, something free for you. I just put together a guide with 60 phrases that native English speakers use every day. The ones you won't find in a textbook. It's yours free when you subscribe to the newsletter at comullen.com/newsletter. I'll tell you more about the guide at the end of the episode. Here is something many English learners notice after years of study. They know the grammar, they know the vocabulary, and they can read a newspaper article without stopping. But when they sit down with a native English speaker in a cafe, at work, at a party, something goes wrong. The words come too fast. The sentences don't sound like the sentences in the textbook. The conversation moves before they're ready. There are 3 reasons why native English speakers don't sound like your textbook. And once you understand these reasons, you'll start to hear English differently. The first reason is that native speakers don't build sentences from grammar rules. They reach for fixed phrases. When you learned English, you probably learned rules. You learned that to make a polite request, you use could plus the base verb. So, you might say, "Could you please repeat what you said?" That sentence is correct. A native speaker would understand it perfectly. But a native speaker in the same situation wouldn't think about the grammar at all. They would just say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "Sorry, I lost you there." They're not constructing a sentence. They're reaching for a phrase they've heard and used hundreds of times. This is how fluency actually works. It's not faster grammar, it's fewer decisions. The phrase is already there. The brain just retrieves it. This is why grammar rules only get you so far. At a certain point, what separates an intermediate learner from a fluent speaker isn't more grammar knowledge. It's a larger library of phrases that feel automatic. The second reason is that native speakers compress and connect words in ways that textbooks never show. Written English and spoken English are not really even the same language. In a textbook, you see, "What have you been up to?" In a real conversation, the phrase sounds more like, "What have you been up to?" The words are all there, but the sounds change, they connect, and they disappear. This is called connected speech, and it happens constantly. Do you want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. I don't know becomes I don't know. None of this is lazy or incorrect. It's just simply how spoken English works, at normal speed, in real conversation. The problem is that most learners have heard and read the written version so many times that the spoken version sounds like different words or no words at all. The brain is looking for, "What have you been up to?" and hears something it doesn't recognize. The only way to get comfortable with this is to listen to a lot of real, natural English. Not scripted, not slowed down, real conversations at real speed about real topics. The third reason is that native speakers react with short, fixed phrases, not full sentences. In a textbook conversation, responses are complete. "That is very interesting. I agree with your point. I am sorry to hear that." In a real conversation, native speakers don't respond like that. They say, "Really? Fair enough. That makes sense. No way. These short reactions are not simple. They're doing a lot of work. They show that you are listening, they keep the conversation moving, they signal your emotion, surprise, agreement, or sympathy without requiring you to build a sentence under pressure. Knowing these phrases is what makes you sound fluent even when your grammar isn't perfect. A learner who responds with, "I am very sorry to hear about your situation," is correct. A learner who responds with, "That's really tough. Is there anything I can do?" sounds natural. There is a difference. This is exactly what the free phrase guide is about. 60 phrases organized by situation, starting a conversation, reacting to news, disagreeing politely, asking for clarification. The phrases native speakers actually use, with a note next to each one explaining how to use it. It's totally free when you subscribe to the English Please newsletter at comullen.com/newsletter. If you already subscribe, check your inbox. I've included it in this week's newsletter for you. And if you want to go further, if you want structured practice hearing real natural English at a pace that builds your comprehension over time, I made something exactly for that. It's called the English Listening Accelerator. It's a workbook with audio and 10 lessons, each one focused on a different part of natural spoken English. You can try a free sample lesson at comullen.com/listen. The full workbook is just $7. Again, I'm Christopher, and I want to invite you to join me in future episodes of English Please to hear about a variety of topics, all focused on helping you with your English. Subscribe now, and let's continue this adventure together in clear, understandable English. Sincere thanks, as always, for your support. See you soon!